everybody. Welcome to my favorite day of the week. It's Wednesday. And even though it's not about me, I just love to be able to say it's Wednesday. And that means I have a cool person to talk to. And today, as usual, in this amazing community, my guest is no exception. But before we get to her, I definitely need to thank our amazing founder, Shelly Lynn Hughes, for this incredible opportunity that she's given me to have these incredible conversations with really amazing people. So, Shelly, thank you so much for this amazing project that you've created and this amazing community that you are building. Um, Thank you to our incredible Talk Wednesday sponsor, Leanne Miles at the Clinton Wilkins Mortgage Team. Thank you, Leanne, for your amazing support of these Talk Wednesdays. We really appreciate it. So, in saying that, I will now turn things over to my guest, Rachel Koehler, not Kohler. It's Koehler, like Taylor, but with a K. So
Yes.
Rachel and I have been
Perfect.
chatting offline before recording, and Rachel has a really interesting project that she's involved with, and I'm really interested in learning more. So I know you guys will be too. So I'm going to pop up here on the screen a little bit about Rachel. So Rachel is Community and Operations Director with AskYourGirls.com, which is a caring digital workspace for women entrepreneurs. Okay, Rachel, tell us more. And I know that is such a broad question, but how long have you been
Yes.
involved with this? Is it an agency? Is it a group? What do I call it?
I guess a company is what we're building at this point. Um, I have been involved since the very beginning, before we were even live, when we were figuring out the user experience and how the site would work, and testing, and just trying to get it figured out. Um, Almost 2 years now. Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
And was this something that um fell into your lap? Is it something that, was sort of in your, because I don't even know what your background is. We have a blank slate with you, Rachel. So,
Yeah.
was there somebody that you knew that was involved with this, that had a dream, and then, a collaboration and something was born? I would love to know a little bit more about the story behind how this was all birthed. Especially because it's still in its infancy. I love stories like this.
Yeah, so the co-founders, Serena Kim and Kosha Patel, they have been friends for a long time. Really Ask Your Girls, as an idea, has been in the making for about 8 years now, 6 years before we even started together. And um, they were definitely kind of in the weeds with developers, getting it all figured out when I was connected with them. At the time, I was a consultant. I had a bunch of different clients. I did anything from high level admin work to operational back end work to customer service support. I mean, really, I was just doing all sorts of things, figuring out kind of what my niche was going to be. And I found an ad for an executive assistant, and I met with Serena, and we talked for a bit, and she's like, you know what, I think you would be great as my operations manager. And the rest is history at that point. So
Amazing. So uh so obviously the Ask Your Girls is an online platform. So I'm curious,
Mhm.
especially and I don't even want to say the C word, but since since the C word, so many things in the world have gone virtual and digital and all the rest. So these founders and yourself, are you guys stationed in the same area, or are you in different parts of the world, so to speak, and have come together that way?
Yeah, so Serena and Koshal are in San Diego, California. I am in Wisconsin, near Madison, and we do have another part of our team, our VP of brand growth, um, who is on the East Coast. So we're pretty spread out right now.
Ah, and I'm glad you mentioned that you're in Wisconsin because I was picking up a little bit of an accent and I was trying to place
Yep,
place where you are, and that's a
yep,
really distinct one. It's cool. It's really
yeah.
cool. Okay, so are you a Packers fan then?
Oh, of course, yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm in the right part of the world, right?
Green
I'm
Bay,
here
yep,
in
Green Bay
Ontario,
Packers.
Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Funny enough, my family owns a commercial fishing business, and one of our biggest clients for years was a company based out of Chicago, and they actually
Mm.
sold our fish into Lambeau Field. So every time I meet somebody from Wisconsin, if you've ever had fish at Lambeau Field, it could have been caught by my dad or my brother. So it's
Oh, wow.
you just never know.
Wow,
Very
a
very
small
small
world.
world.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so enough about that. Back to ask your girls. So that's a very specific name. So askyourgirls.com. So I was on the
Mhm,
site the other day as I was doing a little bit of research, gearing up to meet you, and I noticed that there's a number of different individuals, I'm going to say,
mhm,
represented on the site. And a lot of them appeared to be makers, but there was a couple that appeared to be maybe more in the coaching realm. So,
mhm.
who does Ask Your Girls represent? Do you represent everybody? You know, tell us more about that because maybe there's more, people here within the Pursuit 360 5 community, that are looking to blossom and branch out and all the rest.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the purpose, I guess, the name behind Ask Your Girls is really just, meant to be like a safe place where you can find community, you can get support. Um, there's kind of two sides of it, right? There's the community and the networking and the support side of it, and then there's the, getting exposure and getting your brand out there and additional marketing and all of that. So, um we support all types of businesses really. We have a section for shops and products, we have a section for services, we have a section for articles and videos. Essentially, the goal is to bring all aspects of any business together into one space so you can easily share it. But then it also separates all of those pieces out throughout the platform so that they can be, you can be found in a variety of different ways.
Okay, okay. Interesting. And what was the main thing that drew you to this particular community? What sort of spoke? Was it simply because there was a position that, aligned with your skill set and then, things grew from there? Or was it more maybe like a company mission statement or whatnot? I'd love to know a little bit more about how that all unfolded.
Yeah, so I was very excited about the role just in general because it did align with a lot of the things I was doing and was most interested at the time. But more than that, I was excited to be connected with all these like, women entrepreneurs around the world, right? I'm an entrepreneur myself, and I know how like isolating and lonely it can feel when you're so busy and you've got all these problems that your family and friends like don't understand, like building a website and marketing your business and figuring out social media and advertising your services, or taking product pictures and like all of these things that it's just hard for anyone who hasn't firsthand dealt with those things to understand, right? And um the appeal of finding a community of women to connect with, build new networking connections that weren't just transactional, right? They were deeper than that, and um they, finding people that aligned with your same mission in life, that was definitely a big pull for me.
Nice, nice. Now you mentioned that you are an entrepreneur, of course, at heart, and you
Yes.
told me before we started to hit record that you do have your own business or maybe businesses. So I'd love to
Mhm.
know a little bit more about who Rachel is and what Rachel does and what we know you're really passionate about Ask Your Girls, but this is your interview after all. So I would love to know a little bit more. Just, even if you just touch on, you don't have to, go into grave detail. Because I can already
Yeah.
sense you're very humble. So I think you're like me. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
easier to talk about other people and a little harder to talk about
Yeah.
yourself. So
Yes.
this is your chance to step on your soapbox, Rachel, and
Yeah.
tell us who you are and what where you plant your flag.
Okay. Okay. You can't tell, but I'm getting red. But one of my businesses is Midwest Apothecary, and that one I started January of last year. The It was kind of a passion of mine for a few years. I bought the domain, and I just couldn't decide what to do with it. Um, Last year, I finally got the itch, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. It's just gonna be a collection of my favorite products, collection of self care products that I want to share with people. And that's how it started. And over the first few months, I kind of got into wholesale. I was like, I'll just make a few things and I'll throw it out there and see what happens. And that just exploded, and is by far the most lucrative part of that business now. So my core is now creating customer appreciation products for other businesses and selling it directly to them. And that came to be from me wanting to show my customers appreciation when I was doing retail, and then not finding exactly what I wanted to gift my customers. So I started making it myself. And I was like, maybe I should share that. So that's how that business came together.
That is amazing.
Um,
That is amazing. And you know
yeah.
what? That is true entrepreneurship because something I've learned over the last few years is entrepreneurship and business in general is really about what problem do you solve and who do you solve it for, right? And you
Yeah.
were looking for something, you realized what you were looking for didn't exist, so you created
Yeah.
it. That's brilliant. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. So give me an
Thank
example
you.
of like one of your products. Like what is like what's an example of one of these things that that you've created that someone could purchase from you?
Yeah, so by far, the biggest seller is bath salt packets. I have these individual bath salt packets. I make my bath salt recipes home. I make them homemade. I use a dehydrator, make sure they're shelf stable, and I have these nice labels, make them look really nice. And I pack those up for people to send off to their customers with every order.
Oh, I love that. Good for you. Good
Yeah.
for you. Okay, I interjected. You were on a good flow. So
That's
that
okay.
so you have your apothecary business, and then I sense that you were maybe going to talk about something else as well.
Yes, I also have my consulting business, which I have been doing for, I think, about 4 years now. Um, and that is RFK Consulting, and that I've done just about everything under that brand. But I think what I've really honed in on is helping businesses figure out how to run their business, whether that be writing SOPs, or figuring out their systems, implementing systems, setting up systems, um, organizing their files, organizing their tools, whatever it may be, just helping get organized and get a system in place so that their business can grow and run smoothly. Because I have found that in my own business, that's like the hardest part for me because I second guess everything. I can do it in, so like that for other people, but it's definitely the hardest part is like, how should I do this most effectively? And why can't I make this decision rationally? There's so much emotion to it. And when it's your own. So being able to do that for other people is something I seem to excel at. So,
Wow. Well, see, right away, I'm like, okay, how soon can you be here? Because for me, as much as I like this virtual thing for the I still really am such a in person kind of person.
yes.
And you sound exactly like what I need for my sandwich shop. My husband and I opened a
Oh,
sandwich shop years ago, and I'm like
yeah.
this bull in the china shop. I can execute, I can get things done, but I'm not detail oriented, and I don't take the time to stop and, break. So it's like I need somebody like you to follow me around
Right.
and
Yes. This is how
basically
you're
like
doing
watch what
that.
I
Yep.
do, right? And be able to
Exactly.
translate it to someone else down the road, because it's just like I just
Yep.
want somebody to step in beside me and just do it, right? Because look at me. Nobody taught me how to do it. I just did it. So why can't
Right.
you? But it
Right.
worked that way.
And it's very hard when your brain is so, you're used to doing it every day. You're used to the process, and it's so hard to even take your brain out of that and be like, if I didn't have any idea what I was doing, what every little tiny micro step would I have to take? And it's hard to get into that mindset for sure.
When yeah, and I don't want to. I really don't, because
Yeah.
I'd rather be using the
Yeah.
creative side of my brain and, be actually accomplishing something. Because for me,
Yeah.
that doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like I'm anything. And my
Right.
rational brain knows that I am, and it's good for the greater good, but I don't like
Yeah.
it at all, at all. So, like, hallelujah that people like you exist. Wow, like
Yeah.
you're an answer to prayers, man, oh man.
Oh.
That's, and good for you
Thank
for
you.
discovering. Was there a specific, situation that, like, you all of a sudden were like, "Hey, wait a second," or did you just find it was kind of a over time, an organic aha? Or was it literally like a lightning bolt moment for you?
Kind of both. I think it was a slow process for the end game, but when I first kind of got on that mindset, I was like, "Oh, this. I like this." And then it was really working with Ask Your Girls and having to write down my processes and make it scalable for my assistants and for our sales reps and for other people to follow. I was like, this is hard, but it is so useful and so important. I was like, but I enjoyed it aside from, getting out of that step by step mindset. I was like, I should help other people do this. This is pretty fun. So,
Right. So what is your process? So let's say I was like, okay, Rachel, like, is it something that can, do you do it all virtual? Do you do some of it virtual, some of it in person, only in person? What does that business model look like for you?
yeah, so right now I've done pretty much everything virtually. Sometimes like I really enjoy working calls, so being able to have the client right in front of me, discuss things, work it out and make adjustments, and put things into place while we're on the call. That is helpful. Otherwise, sometimes it's really easy to be on a work call, make all of your notes, get done with that call, feels so like you're in the right mindset to do it, but then you're also just really overwhelmed with everything. And it's so easy to just be like, I'll come back to this later. And yeah. So I love work calls, but I've done a little bit of work in person, but just some of my friends are business owners, and I've helped them with some stuff.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very, 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 very interesting. Okay, so we know that you're based in Wisconsin. Are you a
Mhm.
Wisconsin girl all the way? Been there your whole life?
Yes. Born and raised. Yep. Yep.
Midwest girl all the
Yes.
way, all the way.
Mhm.
Um and where now are you a social media gal? Uh, and if so, which is your favorite platform to hang out on?
Oh, boy. I try to be. I really try to be. um I do. I feel like I'm on a lot of them. I spend a lot of time probably Facebook I like for pages and for groups for business related stuff. Instagram is great for connecting with other brands, and um I do enjoy TikTok. I do. I find I like to
Yeah.
search topics that I want to learn more about, like photography, and I've been able to find so many educational things on there. Um and so yeah, I'm a scroller for sure.
Okay. I have a friend that swears by TikTok. He likes to watch all the he hones in on a lot of the inspirational kind of stuff on there, but TikTok is not a platform I've I've spent any time on it. It's like I had to put a hard boundary in front of me because like social media, just doing Facebook and Instagram feels like a full-time job. And it's like, I
It's a
can't take
lot.
on one more thing. I just can't.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but everybody has their favorite, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So now are you on socials like with your name, or do you have a funky little fun handle or
Yeah, so I have personal pages, and then I also have my business pages. So it's Midwest Apothecary. I also have RFK Consulting on Instagram. And then on Ask Your Girls, I'm also on the other side of those accounts as well. So we have Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, all of the above.
boy, oh boy, you're a busy girl. You are a busy girl.
I
So I
know.
would love okay, so we know that you're part of this Ask Your Girls. You own multiple businesses or operate multiple businesses. So what was it? First of all, how did Pursuit 365 come across how did you learn about that? Being a girl from the Midwest,
Yeah,
find out about a project created by a woman on the West Coast of Canada. I would love to
yeah.
hear how you found the Pursuit 365 community.
Yeah, so Shelly actually found me on Ask Your Girls as a business owner there, on my Midwest Apothecary listing, and she reached out to me on Instagram, wanting to connect and talk more. And we met and we chatted and we just kicked it off, and we talked about Ask Your Girls and my businesses, and we now actually have a formal partnership between Ask Your Girls and Pursuit 365, to offer discounts to our members and give them exclusive promotions. And so it's been great.
That is fantastic, right? Because
Yeah.
less forward thinking, less mature. I'll say it. I'll say it. Somebody might come for me, but they right away would be threatened or like, I can't have her on this show talking about, her girl group because, I'm all about
Yeah.
my no. At the end of the day, we all just need to link elbows and link arms and lift one another up
Yeah.
because there's there's a piece of like this world's big, right? There's a piece of pie for everyone out there. So kudos to all of you guys, right? Because that could lesser people, could have made an ugly mess
Yeah,
of this, but instead, right?
yeah,
Look at there's
yeah.
more and more and more goodness and amazing things being spread, and that is absolutely incredible. And it just goes to
Yeah.
show too the power of social media, right? And how you truly can build relationships. And
Mhm,
that's the thing. What's it called? It's called social media. And a lot of people
mhm.
lose the social part. And it's like if somebody engages with
Yes.
you, it's that engagement back, and you just never know what what can come out of those connections.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Collaboration over competition, 100%. And, Shelly's energy is so wonderful. So the conversations that we were able to have, bouncing ideas off of each other, figuring things out was fantastic. And it's really one of my favorite parts of my position with AYG as the community and operations director is being able to connect with all of our members. We've grown over, like the last 10 months, we have over 200 members across 17 different countries. And I have the pleasure of being able to connect with all of them firsthand, run our virtual networking hours every month, and just find new ways to support them in their businesses. And it's just really been therapeutic for myself as an entrepreneur, but then also just as a woman and as a person in this digital age, just being able to create authentic and valuable connections with people.
Mhm, mhm. That's why I'm just so honored to have this opportunity, right? And right away, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, now that I know the two projects are linked, like hopefully there'll be more people in your community that will join our community so I get to talk to them.
Yeah.
Because the more amazing people that I get to meet, I'm just truly blessed. Each person I get
Yeah.
a chance to talk with, I learn something new from or about. And as you can see, I quickly, hopefully, I don't have my glasses on, so hopefully I didn't spell it wrong. But what you said was just so beautiful. I had to type it and put it on the screen. Collaboration over competition. Absolutely, Rachel.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That is, that's perfect. Absolutely a perfect summary. Okay.
Yes.
So we're
Yes.
getting close to wrapping up. So I don't know if you've watched any of my past interviews or not, but there's a question that I have asked in pretty much every talk that I've been having a lot of fun with. It's not my question; it's one
Okay.
I've borrowed from one of my favorite podcasters. But the question goes
Okay.
like this, Rachel: if you could give a TED talk on
Mm.
nothing that you are known for, what would your TED Talk be about?
Oh my goodness. What a question.
Plot twist, right? Plot twist.
Yeah, it's a thinker for sure. Um, wow. It would probably be wow, it would probably be a chaotic mess for sure, whatever the TED Talk is about. I think it would have something to do with um either the power of I think it would probably
See, this is where
be
you
about like habit building and how to start, because I think that is something I have struggled with. Like, I am a serial procrastinator, great under pressure, but I am just out of sight, out of mind, right? and it's just a little bit of chaos here and there. So I've always struggled with like breaking habits and forming good habits, and how do I start this big project, and what if I don't do it right, and what if, just getting caught up in anxiety and in my mind, right? So I think it would probably be um, about talking about how to take that step, and the things that I have utilized over the last 6 months, especially as things have become more and more chaotic in my work life, to stay organized and stay on track with everything and really value my time, is there's been a big shift for me from, I have time for everything and I'll take on everything and I got plenty of time and always having time, and all of a sudden I have no time. I This time is not a thing anymore. And really having to utilize that properly and prioritize things. I definitely don't feel like I'm known for that, or maybe the people I work with think I am, but in my I'd say, I'm just figuring that out, but it's it's an important thing for sure.
Well, we're all works in progress, right? And
Yeah,
as a coach that I've worked with a lot over the years, she says, "Till your days on earth are done," right? It's,
yeah,
we never stop learning, we never stop growing, we never stop trying, evolving, whatever ing you wanna
absolutely.
put. So, um,
Yes.
amazing, amazing. Well, Rachel, this has been a ton of fun. I've thoroughly enjoyed chatting with you, learning about what you do, and I've said this so many times on these, and I've followed through on a lot of them. It's like, okay, I feel like I've met you for a reason, and yeah, what you offer, I think, is something I need in my life. So I need to look more
Yeah.
into it. That's all. I'm gonna be broke by the time I'm done with all these interviews because there's a lot I'm realizing I need in my life as I'm meeting more and more people.
I
But,
know.
what's it
I
all
totally
for, right?
get that.
What's it all
Right,
for?
right.
All right. So any last words you would love to leave us with? Again, you had your mic drop moment with collaboration over competition, but
Yeah.
anything else you'd like to leave people with?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if there's, any women out there who, struggle with feeling like they don't belong and struggle feeling like they aren't good enough or aren't working hard enough or aren't doing enough, you're really not alone. And the entrepreneur life is really challenging, but Ask Your Girls is a community, as a support team, like we're here to support you and to help you along that journey. um, we're all feeling that way. Believe me, we all feel inadequate at times. But as a community, and um, as women and as a group, um, we can just remind each other whenever we need that we're meant to be here and we're doing great, and there is support out there whenever we need it. So
Wonderful.
yeah.
Wonderful. AskYourGirls.com is where you can go and or find Ask Your Girls on Facebook or Instagram, and Rachel will be there with bells on to help you and lead
Yes.
you where you need to go. All right. Thank you again for
Fabulous.
your time, Rachel. It's been a blast. Thank you, Shelley. And thank you too to Leanne for this Talk Wednesday opportunity. And until next week, you guys have a great week, and we'll see you then.